Okay, another beautiful morning. Birds are singing, sun is shining, and I'm pulling apart the van again. So now my next thing is I've just taken the battery looms off. So that's my positive from my charger, and then there's my negative. I've decided to leave them attached to the motor, well, to the charger, because it's not all a motor. So I've done that for two reasons. One, so I remember which stuff goes where in case I get sidetracked for a few more months, and two, so that I've definitely got the right sizes to go where they need to go. So yeah, next thing is to start pulling off this big main loom. Now, trying to remember what's what. Now this, I believe, is Hall effect sensor or some form of sensor for the motor, because this side is the motor from there to there, or there, one of those two spots. This appears to just be a brace which adapts the motor to the bell housing. Now this one here, ordinarily I'd think that would be a reversing sensor, but I believe that this actuates reverse by spinning the motor backwards, not actually enabling a reverse gear. So I'm at a loss as to exactly what this one does, considering it's right next to what now seems to be the park gear linkage. I can think that maybe it's a park sensor. Now, what I was looking through the manuals before, under Vehicle Standards Bulletin 14, under the National Code of Practice 13 and 14, which is the conversion to electric drive, they haven't instituted a necessity to have an actual physical park brake or parking lock. However, if this is a park position sensor, which I believe it might be until I go check the workshop manual, in which case I will need that, because I believe that probably feeds into a loop with the motor, so I can't start the car until that's in park. So my original thought was I'll just pin that back, get some form of lock wire or something and keep that backwards. But yeah, not sure what I'll do from here, but I'll start pulling this loom off. For these, the position where they are should be good enough. From what it looks like, the Chatamo and everything just goes back into the charger, which is fine. However, I've already disconnected the battery, and ideally in my conversion, I'm situating the battery roughly where it was before, so I should be able to use all these factory cables as they are, which would be nice. So yeah, the coolant lines, I can leave all them attached because they're not attached to the body. Basically, I'm sort of looking at it, if I can leave it attached to the motor or the drive unit, stack, whatever you want to call it, I will do so, and I'll just disconnect it from the body, because then I stand the best chance of just having it all in the right spot when I go to put it back together. It's only figuring out where the body end goes, and for most of this stuff, it's like all this orange stuff is all isolated in and of itself. It'll only go one place because I only got one connector on the other end and I have the other half. For the rest of it, it should be fairly simple to figure it out. And I can always come back to the van. If I need this plug, I just come back, I get this plug, and I use it again. Because obviously this plug is a triangle, this plug's a square. So that's the way I'm doing it. Other people might have other ways of doing their conversion. But I'm hoping that, because the loom goes to the body here, comes down in through all here. If I start at this end, I should be able to disconnect all off the motor and fold it up over the side there. So yeah, that's my plan there. He's done laughing? Okay, so where I'm at the moment, so just got this bracket off. I just need to get this part of the, I don't know if you can see it, this bit of main loom, because I want to keep the high voltage loom there because that's connected to the stack as well, which is fine. I need to get this off, which is an aircon line. Not exactly sure. There's a bolt there I can feel behind it. So that aircon line needs to come off. I'm assuming this is my aircon compressor. And then there's also another couple of plugs right around back here. So you can see down in there. Come over like that. There's another plug just here I need to get off. And then essentially that will be the whole stack disconnected from the car, from what I could see. And I'll be able to drop this whole K-frame. So a couple of bolt there, and then a couple down the very back on the back side. So coming under the car, I've got 2 bolts there, 2 bolts the same on the other side, and the suspension tops. And then I should be able to drop that whole frame and wheel the whole lot out from under the front of the car, which is way nicer because then it will not be hard to make up an adapter plate to go from these 2 bolts here on the jump buck to where the jump buck originally bolted in the center. So I can make up another big cross brace to do exactly that. And yeah, I'll just be able to make up a K-frame adapter plate to go into the ute, which will be even nicer and neater than it was before, because this cable goes straight up to the heater in the cabin, which won't be hard to replace and adapt. And this is my high voltage pack line, and that should come to about the same position in the jump buck once I get the K-frame in place, because that engine mount there will actually slide down into my transmission tunnel. So yeah, it's actually motoring along quite well. And as for getting this back end out, got a bolt here, a couple on the other side. Got to get these shocks out, which won't be hard, because I'll just undo them at the top. I don't have to do that very back shackle because that's already free, thanks to the accident. And the brake lines, and the handbrake cable, and that'll be it. And I'll have the back end out. And this whole van can just plonk on the ground for all I give a crap. Also need to remember to put in earth straps to the body from the battery. That just ties the whole electrical system together so that if there's no, what do they call it? Earth circuit leakage, something or other. Yeah. And for those of you that are interested, my handbrake cable runs out here. I'm pretty sure the seats bolt about here, so it actually runs under the carpet for a bit inside the car, pops himself out here. Sorry, no, this one. Pops himself out here at this one, runs himself up and around the body, and then goes into this portion of this thingamajig here, and then goes down and enough zoom. Oh, probably a little bit too much. Where are we? There. And clamps in on the discs. There. So, yeah, that's how he works. You can see it on the other side here. So, yeah. Yeah, should be pretty simple. However, your battery bolts to here, so you've actually got a very tiny amount of room to ever adjust this onto the back. And most of this is actually hidden where the run goes by the battery. So that's why most people probably have never got a really good look at it, because especially the egress point from the cab here is entirely under the battery. So yeah, once this is all done, I might actually roll the van onto its side and take some detailed pictures of how it all goes together, if people are interested. Okay, so upon some closer inspection, this front K-frame member appears that better put it radiator support here, it's bent, took all the brunt, and this appears undamaged, which is good. I don't have to do a K-frame repair. Very happy with that. Additionally, after taking the tape measure to the jumbuck, from what it appears, when I sit this in location for the front wheels to be where I need them, I'll be about 150 mils rearwards on this part of the K-frame, and the rear section will be about 100 mil forwards of where I need to mount it to the ute. So that's ample room to build up a bolt-in plate that will convert these mounting points to where the ute needs to have them. Okay, so the last few things I had to pull off were the aircon lines, which are there, on the back of the compressor, a little electrically driven compressor. Its HV line doesn't actually go anywhere important, it goes up to the charger here, so it must get split off somewhere in there. And there is this bit of the body loom in here. However, I cannot get a spanner onto the very bottom bolt just there. I just cannot get the angle to get a shifter or a socket or anything in there. So that's going to have to wait till I can drop the motor out to a better angle and I can get in from the side, because I can't get in at an angle backwards. I need to come in directly from the side. So I just can't do that with the rest of this body stuff in the way. This back plug was actually quite easy to get off. Where are you? That one there. Just twists off. Didn't need to find a little pushy button thing to get him bloody off. As it is, that's basically, oh, and the once I drop it I can get the steering column off. So drop a little bit and get a bit more angle on there, and I can get something in there to get to the steering column. Probably can't even see it. It's just here. That yellow bit just there is the steering column. So yeah, once I've dropped a little bit, I'll be able to get to the last few things and she'll be out. So that's another day. I'm quite happy with the headway I'm making on it so far. Hopefully I should have this whole lot out tomorrow. Got a friend that's, now that lockdown's finished in Brisbane, got a friend that can come out and give me a hand tomorrow with it. So hopefully the whole plan is we'll just drop the front, wheel it out, and be done. I did just remember the brake lines need to come off, because I'll obviously be connected. That's not a hard job to do. And yeah, then ideally tomorrow if we get the time, we'll get this out and we'll be able to wheel it into position under the jumbuck. And then from there we can start taking measurements and figuring out what we do. Might even get the top hats on the suspension changed over, and we'll be able to bolt the suspension in at least. If we bolt nothing else in, the suspension will at least bolt in, and we'll be gold there. So yeah, if you like this video and want to see more like it, just hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and all hail the algorithm.